All right, we're now joined by the race-winning driver of today's NOCO 400, Kyle Larson, driver of the number 5, HendrickCars.com Chevrolet. We will go right to questions for Kyle. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless microphone to you. We'll start here with Justin.
Justin Schuler, Kicking the Tires. You've had all three of your teammates win a clock, so was today kind of like a sigh of relief that you finally got one?
I don't know if them winning added any pressure. If anything, them winning adds confidence, I think, when you come to a place like this that I've really struggled out. So, it is pretty neat that, the four of us now have all won here in the last, I guess, 3 years, right? I think, did Chase win in 2020 here? So, pretty cool and just shows that which, I mean, Hendrick has shown for a very long time that they've had great setups here and have a handle on things here. So, but it wasn't easy. I mean, we didn't dominate the day at all. We really never even got into the top 5 there until the last run of the race. So, just a great job on my team, great job on pit road all day long, and great strategy calls and some good restarts there at the end. I don't. I have no clue. I've been, trying to imagine different rooms in my shop or in my house or whatever, and I don't have a clue. Owen wants it in his room, so maybe we put it in there. But that's probably one of my most prized trophies. So I'm not sure if I want to put it in there and have him break it, So we'll see. And he'll probably get annoyed with it too, that thing going off every hour. So he's probably going to find out quick that he doesn't want it in his room.
I'm going to go to Mark, and then we'll go to Seth.
Mark Garrow, PRN. Kyle, you come off a 10-win season to 3-win season last year. You've won 2 races early this year. Does it start to give a feel like another maybe potential double-digit win season, winning 2 races early and knowing that, the team is improving all the time?
I mean, I don't know about double digits. Like, that's pretty tough to do, and it's only happened a handful of times throughout the last, couple decades, I guess. But I've told a lot of people around me, when I go to dirt races and stuff, because they don't follow it a whole lot, competitors and stuff. They're like, oh, how's your stuff this year? And I tell every one of them, like, man, I think we're honestly close to as good or just as good as we were in 2021. So I think in the races that we've finished and executed well, I think it's shown. We've been up front in every race. We've challenged for wins. We've shown that we've had winning speed at every single race. COTA maybe arguably is our only race this year where we haven't been a contender on speed, at least for the win. But we were a top 5 car that day, I thought. So I've had a few DNFs, but outside of that, we've been in the top 2, I think. So, or top 4, I guess, with Phoenix. We had a shot to win there and fell back to 4th. But anyways, I do feel like we are close to what we were a couple years ago. And we're winning at tracks I suck at, so that says a lot.
We'll go to Seth and then Kelly.
Seth Egger, KickingTires.net. Kyle, you mentioned the struggles that you've had here. Considering that, where does this win compare with other victories that you've had?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you can accomplish something that you don't see possible, when you do accomplish it, it moves up the ladder pretty high. So this is an extremely special win for me. I've worked very hard to get better here. I feel like every time there's a test available, I get put on that list to test here because I struggle and we want to get better. So I've got tons of laps around here and not many top 10s. Honestly, probably more races where I've finished a lap down than on the lead lap. So it's been difficult. And then, like I said, when you can win at a place like this, it is definitely up there. I was teared up the whole last lap. I heard Cliff was teared up too. So that feels really, really special because he's so strong and like emotionally strong, and to hear that means means a lot. This win here today means a lot for everybody, and to Hendrick Motorsports as well. With everything that they've, everything that this kind of racetrack and trip means to them.
I'm going to stay up front for a couple. We'll go to Kelly, Bob, and then in the back.
Kelly, ChronoRacer.com. Kyle, you said there about the trophy will be one of your most prized possessions. Is that, go back to everything you just said, the reason why, or what makes this trophy, other than, of course, hearing about it so much, going to be so special to you?
Yeah, I'm not into clocks or anything like that. So, being that it's a clock doesn't add any significance to me. But I think every time you look at it and you look at, it'll remind me of the 10 years of struggling I've had here, and then to accomplish the win that we now have. So, in the work, and this was probably the first weekend I've showed up here with a positive attitude, honestly. So, I've left here just mad. I've hated this place. I've wished it would flood. I've wished a lot of bad things on this place, and it's not going anywhere. So, it feels like I wish it was like that, maybe dirt, but no, it's yeah. So I think because it's such a tough track that's why it means a lot.
In general, how much does a driver like yourself even think about what trophies look like when you win races, right? It's all about winning and championship points and whatnot. Do you even think about most of the time what a trophy's going to look like? Oh,
yeah, definitely. For sure. Yeah. Typically they have the trophies somewhere, throughout the weekend. So you get to see it before you race. And the majority of NASCAR trophies are really cool. So that when you win, you're going to get something cool. But even like sprint car races, rarely are there trophies that look cool. But when there is, I think not that you put any more pressure on yourself to win, but when you do win, you're like, all right, like that's pretty cool and get to take that home. But yeah, it's thankfully NASCAR races do have all pretty cool trophies.
We'll go to Bob, then we're going to go in the back of the room, and then we'll go up to the press box for one.
Bob Pockris, Fox Sports. So did you feel like you had this place figured out today, or did you suck and just have track position in a good car?
Thanks, Bob. Well, so I guess I'll just kind of take you through my race. The first run of the race, we started 19th and drove to 10th really easily, and my car felt really good, and I was like, all right, this is going to be a great day. This next run, we're going to put tires on, I'm going to drive right to the front. We're going to be battling up front the whole rest of the race. And then the next run, I was really bad. Next couple runs, I was really bad. And then, then I was not really pouty. I was trying to stay positive, but I was like, okay, it's just typical Martinsville. I'm tight in the center, loose off like always. I suck, and it's probably me. But the car's fine. It's just me. But, then they kept working on it and got us better and better. And, we never once did I really feel like we had the car to win, but we made the right strategy calls to stay out when there was that weird cycle, restart on the front row with Briscoe. And then on that run, that run I was finally able to settle in. I wasn't I got kind of away from the 45 and could kind of get into a rhythm, and I felt like I learned some things behind the wheel and helped my balance out. And so I used that and applied it to the next run, and thankfully we took 2 tires then, and my car was really good on 2 tires there the last run. So and then I was battling Joey for the lead and knew it was gonna be tough. Knew he's very hard to pass at places like this, and once you do, you'll get by him. He's not done. So I knew I was gonna get a shot in the back from him, and thankfully my car just had a lot more grip than his did at the time, and got away and was hoping other lap cars, or not lap cars, but the guys I was catching, that looked like they were racing pretty hard, were not going to wreck. So, yeah. I was pretty positive, though, this weekend. Better than normal.
Go ahead in the back.
Oh yeah, Joshua Weatherman, Short Track Report. Kind of, piggybacking off the previous questions. You've said in years past that this has been your worst track, and you kind of count this race as a write-off. What was it about your car today that allowed you to overcome the aero problems here at the short tracks, get to Joey's bumper, and just allow you to walk away at the end of the race?
Yeah, I guess as far as the aero stuff, I didn't really notice anything different with this package here compared to last year. So, yeah, it's just, I think like Phoenix, I felt a little bit different. Richmond, I felt a lot better with it. And then here, if you would have told me that, we didn't, we had the same package, I would agree. So, yeah, it was just, my car was good enough there at the end to drive it to the 22 and kind of just work them over.
I'm going to go upstairs to the press box for a question, then we'll go to Dustin.
ChrisMyCashmas.com. Kyle, with your victory today, does that give you a better outlook on returning to Martinsville in October, where winning the race could be the difference between making the championship or not?
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely adds confidence. We finished second here in that race last year to Bell. Similar thing, I think we took 2 tires and my car was okay. And so yeah, but there's also a lot of room for me to get better here still. There was a run on that long run there. I was better than the 10, better than the 6, a lot better than the 6 once the 10 got by him, and I just don't do a good job at passing. So just got to get better at my racecraft still here. And the good short track racers, if their car is better than somebody, they can get to them and pass them pretty quickly. Where I seem to just get stuck and waste time. And I think that's a lot to do with kind of the line that I run. But yeah, so yeah, still got to get better. But for sure, I feel like the last 3 times here, at least with the next gen car. Every time I've been here with the next gen car, I've been top 10. So that's pleasing, but you always want to be better.
Go to Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Hey, a few minutes ago, Josh Weiss tweeted a thread of thoughts about you winning. And part of what he said is, since 2017, I've watched you push himself to learn at a track that he hasn't felt comfortable at, one of the few. The most notable part of that is that it's remained the track that he's put the most work into. Seeing KL win today is probably one of the coolest wins I've ever had a small piece in, watching one of the greats push himself for years and finally get the reward that he's earned. I think a lot of times people look at what you have done across the spectrum in your career and just view it as talent and maybe don't see the work that goes on behind the scenes. Can you give us a sense of the work that you've had to put in the last few years that Josh is referencing to get to this point today where you can suck and still win? Yeah, no, it's it's a lot of it has to do with Josh for sure, and I've worked around him now I guess since 2017, and he's done a really good job at pointing things out. I think for so long when I came to Martinsville, everybody was like, oh, you got to back your entries up, get good exits and stuff like that. So you work that into your brain and you try and drive that way. And over time, through data and seeing how the good guys get around here, I quickly realized that it's the opposite. You make your time on entry, and it's not about your good exits. And since that, I've been able to kind of work harder at my driving style a little bit and trying to really, I feel like, competitors know. They look at my data and stuff, and they probably, I have this, perfect triangle break here at Martinsville. And, the good guys, kind of, can make time under the braking zones and then hold that little bit of pressure at the end to turn still and get pointed for exit. And that's, I feel like the last 100 pounds of brake pressure has been something that I've worked really hard on and try to be pretty conscious of throughout the race today and this weekend. And I think that helped a lot. And it's
because of guys like Josh Wise and Cliff and Adam and Cal and Becker at our shop that, find those things and point them out, and then, we really kind of hone in on them and try to work to, figure out a way, not copy, because it's hard to copy anybody's driving style, but to take little bits and pieces of things that you notice and try and apply them to yourself. So, yes, I think there's a lot of things that I've done throughout my career that talent's got me to accomplish. But then there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, and I've worked a lot harder in the last, I guess 7-ish years than I probably ever did before. I think, but you have the data now to look at and to study and then apply to yourself.
So I understand every win is special, but comparing a win that you won based off of your talent versus a win like today where it was work day after day, is this any more significant, or what does this mean on a personal level to you compared to other races that you won because of the talent of Kyle Larson?
Yeah, no, I think that's, I don't know, maybe I haven't done a good job of wording it right, but I think that's the reason why this win is probably my top 7 or so, or shorter list than that of wins, because I've worked really hard for it, and I never, even with the work, I still didn't think that I would ever win here. So, because there was so many times that I would put in hours of work and running on my iRacing simulator, and I've got data on there too, so I can kind of run and then go and look at my brake trace and stuff and try and see if what I was doing with my foot matched up to what guys like Chase and Denny do here. But I would run hundreds of laps and then still come here and be 20th or worse. So so putting in the work and continuing to put in the work and not giving up on it and then winning, it makes it feel really special. But with all that, you still have to have a great team and a great car. So that's also kind of what makes this win special, is that my team was able to produce a setup that can work for my style.
Checking back in on the press box to see if you have any questions. All right, any final questions downstairs for Kyle? Go to Seth.
Seth Egger, KickingTires.net. Kyle, you touched on how special of a win this is, and Zach also touched on this with Cliff and Jeff earlier, but this is the first win for the number 5 since that first win in 1984 with Hendrick. Does that add anything to the specialness of this win?
At Martinsville?
Yes.
No, because I didn't know that, but I think anytime you can win in the 5 car, it's got special meaning. So, winning at Richmond on Ricky's birthday was special. And then, any Hendrick Motorsports win across any of the cars at Martinsville is always special for the reasons there. So, just a place that means a lot to the organization, and feels great to win, and then get to hear from Rick and hear how excited he was.
Go to Steve.
Hey, Kyle, I know Chase wasn't really a factor today, but just, as another driver, how good was it to really just have him back out here, and how valuable, obviously, is he to the tour in general? Yeah,
it was nice having him back. Just, having him a part of the debrief after practice and qualifying again was nice. He always brings something a little different to the comments between all 4 of us, and I think he challenges himself, but he challenges us all, drivers and crew chiefs and engineers, to think more, I don't know, differently or more, or whatever is the right word, but asking questions, talking about his car. He does a very good job of feeling or explaining what he feels, and then even between changes, they'll pit, make an adjustment, like in practice, and then he can read that adjustment pretty quickly and tell if it's better or worse. And Where I feel like a lot of times, especially with me, I don't know about the other guys, but if I don't like pitting in practice and making an adjustment, because then I feel like I'm making an uneducated guess on the change and how it worked. But he's very, like I said, he's very good at feeling his car, so I feel like he's pretty confident and usually the majority of the time right about the changes. So I think when he can explain his car and say, hey, this was better for us, the crew chiefs on the other teams can really look at that change and look at how it might work on our cars and apply it to it. So he's definitely an asset for sure. You know, he's one of the best drivers in the sport. So it's been nice to have him back.
Go back to Zach.
Zach Sterniel of NASCAR.com. Kyle, I can't recall one-on-one battles between you and Joey for the lead like that. So catching him, racing him, what was going through your mind through that battle?
Yeah, so he wasn't really a factor all day. I was never around him at all throughout the race, but he's a very good short track racer. His team, as always, does a great job of executing and putting themselves in position and finishing way better, on their off days than they should. So I knew he was going to fight really hard. Honestly, I was better on compared to him than I thought I was going to be, as far as grip and all that went. So, I could tell the areas where I was better than him as I was catching him, and then he got really protective of his exit, and I was just kind of scared to move him out of the way too hard, because that kind of opens the door for him to do the same to you, and usually he's going to do it 4 or 5 times worse. So I wanted to be as respectful getting by him. I knew that I was going to have to use the bumper at some point to get by him, and I tried a couple times when I was behind him, and he did a really good job of just checking up and not getting shoved out of the way. And then I got a good run. I was able to diamond 3 and 4 and get a good run on him and kind of outbreak him and get to his inside, and felt like I could eventually work him over that way, and it worked out. And then once I got by him, I knew I was expecting a shove from behind, so I ran in the corner deeper than I had been and tried to roll through the center faster than normal, just to try and keep the bump from behind a little softer, and was able to get the bump, receive the bump, but still exit the corner better than him. And then my car was really good at that point and drove off and just tried to take care of it from there. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun racing him, and I could, for the 2 laps we were side by side, I could see the crowd on their feet and waving their towels and stuff and cheering. So it was fun. It was fun for my seat.
All right, any final questions either upstairs in the press box or down here for Kyle? All right, Kyle, congratulations on the win.